Hello students. Hello students. Today we are going to study electrochemistry, right? And we will study some basics of this. We will study some basics of electrochemistry. Conductors and insulators. Conductors and insulators. Conductors are substances that allow electricity to pass through them easily. Conductors are substances that allow electricity to pass through them easily. Usually all metals are good conductor. Good conductor. Other examples: platinum, graphite, gold, silver, aluminium, copper. See, these are metals: copper, aluminium, silver, gold, platinum. These are metals. Graphite is non-metal. Graphite, graphite is the non-metal, but still it is also a good conductor of electricity because it has delocalized electrons. Because it has delocalized electrons. So metals are good conductors of electricity. Graphite it's a different form of carbon. It's an allotrope of carbon. Graphite is an allotrope of carbon. And it is a non-metal, but it is also a good conductor of electricity. What makes a metal good conductor? Because it has moving electrons. See, these are metal ions and these are delocalized electrons. These are delocalized electrons. Because of the presence of these delocalized electrons, metals are good conductors of electricity. Metals conduct thanks to their free electrons, which form a current. Look the structure of graphite. It is also a good conductor of electricity, although it is a non-metal. Actually, it is a different form of carbon. It is an allotrope of carbon. It is a different form of carbon, right? Now the question is, why graphite is a good conductor of electricity? Why graphite is a good conductor of electricity? Graphite is a good conductor of electricity because it has delocalized electrons. See, every carbon, right? Every carbon covalently bonding a 3 other carbon atoms, and the last carbon in every carbon atom is not bonded with any other carbon atom, and it is free to move. Let's talk about insulators. Insulators are substances that do not allow free flow of electrons through them, right? We should remember that electricity is the flow of electrons. The flow of electrons in a conductor is known as electric current. So insulators are substances that do not allow free flow of electrons through them. Example: wood, glass, plastic, and ceramic. Some uses of conductors and insulators. Students, we are talking about only some basics of electrochemistry. In next lesson, we will study electrochemistry in a proper way. Some uses for conductors and insulators. See, look this structure it is overhead cable. Okay. Cables carry electricity around the country, and these are made of aluminium and steel. This outer core is made of aluminium. This outer core is made of aluminium, and this one is the steel core, right? So both are aluminium is also a good conductor of electricity, as well as steel is also a good conductor of electricity. But aluminium is a better conductor than steel. We made this core made of steel because of better strength, because it provides a better strength to the cable. This is the pylon. So we can observe some disc-like structure on these pylons. This disc is made of ceramic, right? It support the bare cables. These are the open naked cables. So this support the bare cables, and it is an insulator. Ceramic is an insulator. This is ceramic disc, and it is an insulator. As we have talked that insulators do not allow flow of electrons. So it prevents the current from running down the pylon. Copper is used for wiring at home, right? It is a very good conductor, but the wires are sheathed. These are covered in plastic to protect it, because plastic is an insulator, and plug cases are made of plastic. Plastic is also an insulator for safety. See, batteries and electrical. This is the photograph. It shows a battery, a bulb, and a rod of graphite. See, this is the structure. This is the rod of graphite rod. Graphite is actually carbon. It is a carbon. So it is connected to copper wire. So what we see, bulb is lit, right? Bulb is lit. This shows that electricity must be flowing in the circuit. Electricity is a stream of electrons. Electricity is a stream of electrons. This is the circuit diagram of this. Look, electrons move out from negative terminal, flow, right, to the bulb. Okay, then they move to the carbon rod. Okay, carbon is graphite here. Then they again comes back in the battery through positive terminal, right? This is the structure. This is the circuit diagram. This is called circuit diagram. The diagram shows how the electrons move through the circuit. The battery acts like an electron pump. It is like an electron pump. Battery is an electron pump. Electron pump, right? Electrons leave it through the negative terminal. They travel through the wire, bulb, and rod and enter the battery again through the positive terminal. Electron leave it. Remember, electrons leave through negative terminal and comes back to the battery again through positive terminal. Right? When the electrons stream through the fine wire in the bulb, they cause it to heat up. It gets white hot and gives out light. See this structure. Copper carries the current into the styling iron. Copper carries the current inside this plastic sheet. There is a copper wire. It carries the current into the styling iron. Then it flows through wire made of nichrome. Nichrome is a nickel chromium alloy. Nichrome. We would test flame. Flame test we would do with the help of nichrome wire. So it is an alloy made of nickel and chromium. Right? How can we test substance to see if they conduct? Let's see. We can test any substance to see if it conducts by connecting it into a circuit. For example, see, this is the circuit. This one is battery. It is positive terminal. It is negative terminal, right? So electrons are moving from here to here, right? And passing through the tin, right? Passing through the tin. Then they move back again inside the battery through positive terminal. It helps in lighting the bulb. The bulb lights, so it must be a conductor. So what we have observed, that tin is a good conductor, right? Tin is a good conductor of electricity. Students, we are talking about only basics of electrochemistry. In next lesson, we will study electrolysis, right? See, ethanol. Okay. Here in this beaker, we have taken the ethanol. Okay, this liquid is connected into the circuit by placing graphite rods in it. These are graphite rods. The bulb does not light. The bulb does not light. Does not light. It proves that ethanol is a non-conductor. Ethanol is a non-conductor. Next, let's test whether lead bromide is a good conductor of electricity or not. Whether lead bromide is a good conductor of electricity or not. Lead bromide is a C. It does not conduct lead bromide, although when we take lead bromide in molten state, it would be a good conductor of electricity, but it does not conduct when it is solid. Okay, in solid, it is solid, so don't conduct. So it does not conduct. It does not conduct in solid state, right? It gives off a choking brown vapor when we melt it. When we melt lead bromide, it gives off choking brown vapor. So it conducts only in molten state. Only it conducts in molten state because they in molten state it will dissociate into charges, right? So it conducts into molten state. It is lead bromide taken in the beaker. Lead bromide. Results. These are the results from a range of tests. The only solids that conduct are the metals and graphite. Metals conduct electricity and non-metal. Usually non-metals are insulators, but the graphite is the non-metal, that is an allotrope of carbon, conducts electricity. These conduct because of their free electrons. Remember, the electrons get pumped out of one end from the battery, right? While more electrons flow in the other end for the same region, molten metals conduct. Molten metals conduct. It is hard to test molten graphite because at room pressure, graphite does from solid to gas. Graphite, we cannot test molten graphite because we cannot melt graphite. Graphite sublimes. Graphite sublimes. So sublimation occurs in graphite. What does it mean? It converts directly into gas from solid without an intermediate state of liquid. So no liquid state, right? No liquid state, it is directly converted into gas. So it is difficult. So it is difficult to test molten graphite because it sublimes. So it does not conduct in molten state. See, metals conduct thanks to their free electrons, which form a current. I would like to repeat, it is hard to test molten graphite because at room pressure, graphite does from solid to gas. So it is difficult to test molten graphite. So this is the explanation why metals conduct, because they conduct because they have free electrons, which form a current. Always remember molecular substances are non-conductor because molecular substances have covalent bond. Covalent bond. So they do not conduct, they are non-conductors, they are insulators, right? This is because they contain no free electrons or other charged particles. They can flow through them. Ethanol is made of molecules. So that same ethanol, similarly petrol, paraffin, sulfur, sugar, and plastic. These never conduct, whether solid or molten. Ionic substances do not conduct when solid, but they do conduct when melted or dissolved in water. Ionic substance conduct only in molten state, only in molten or aqueous state, right? So ionic substances do not conduct when solid, but they do conduct when melted or dissolved in water, and they decomposed at the same time. An ionic substance contains no free electrons, but it does contain ions which have a charge. The ions become free to move when the substance is melted or dissolved, and it is why they conduct the electricity in the molten state. Lead bromide is ionic. It does not conduct when solid, but conducts when it melts. The brown vapor that forms is bromine. Electricity has caused the lead bromide to decompose. Look here, an ionic substance conducts when it melts because the ions become free to move. Because ionic solid conducts when melts. Okay, because the ions become free to move. Decomposition brought about by electricity is called electrolysis. We will study this in next lesson. A liquid that contains ions and therefore conducts electricity is called an electrolyte. See, this liquid that would be filled in a beaker is called electrolyte. Electrolyte is the liquid that is going to dissociate. The liquid that we are going to break with the help of electricity is called electrolyte. And electrolysis is the process, right, of decomposition. So molten lead bromide is an electrolyte and ethanol is a non-electrolyte. Let's check what is a conductor of electricity. Try to do these questions and draw a circuit to show how you would test whether mercury conducts. Explain why metals are able to conduct electricity. Naphthalene is a molecular substance. Do you think it will conduct electricity when molten? Explain it, right? Explain what is an electrolyte, a non-electrolyte. Give 3 examples. If you want to get questions, if you want to get answer of these questions, okay, let's wait for the next lecture. Okay. Till then, bye-bye.